I tried so hard and got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. In the end, it doesn't even matter. Good, Midnight Cadets. This is Lance from CinematicGalaxy here to give you all my review, finally, of War for the Planet of the Apes. This is the final film in the Matthew Reeves, Rupert Wyatt did the first film, Rise, but basically the new Planet of the Apes trilogy. This is the final film in that. 3 years in the making. I have to say, you've seen my first two reviews. You know I love Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. War did not come lightly. I'm a diehard Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars, and The Last Jedi has been my most anticipated film of 2017. Very close second, almost beating it out. For me, it was War for the Planet of the Apes. I'm that invested in this new trilogy, and I love what they've done with the character of Caesar. I love what they've done with all of these characters and just the morality of the series, the messages that it gives. That this was number two, easily most anticipated for me of the entire year. And there have been a lot of really good movies this year, in terms of blockbusters and whatnot. But it was still War that I was most hyped for, and I had very high expectations and hopes for it. There will not be spoilers in this review, and honestly, I'm going to review this in a way that if you haven't seen the other films, you can still watch this review and not fear being spoiled. Basically, War for the Planet of the Apes picks up right after Dawn, and it deals with the repercussions of events that happen in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And and what's definitely apparent here is that war is looming. Has been going on between apes and humans. That's the big thing to take away. How they get there is something that if you haven't seen the films, you don't know from my reviews. So no spoilers there. But yeah, war's going on. Basically, Caesar wants to be left alone. He and the apes want to be left alone. The humans won't leave them alone. Hence the war. You know what? Other than that, there's nothing else about the story I need to tell you except. You've got obviously Andy Serkis back as Caesar. You've got Maurice. You've got a lot of these characters from the first two films, and you have Woody Harrelson as the antagonist of the film, called the Colonel McCullough, and that's really about it. And I just don't want to tell you any more in case you haven't witnessed these movies. But this film takes everything from the first two and takes it up a notch. First of all, the technology. I've got to say that the apes visually are seamless by this point. You really cannot tell that they're animated anymore. I mean, they look like they belong in the environments. They look like they blend in with the real environments, and it's simply incredible. I at this point I'm almost numb to it, because of just how good it looks. But at the same time, I'm amazed by it. Caesar as a character has gone through a lot of changes in this trilogy, and you see him change even more so in this one. He already has changed from the end of Dawn, even though there's not much of a time skip, not very much of a time skip at all. But he's changed. And he changes throughout the film. And without giving anything away, I love what the filmmakers and the storytellers did with Caesar's character development here. It went in a direction that I did not expect, but it still felt right for this movie and for the story they were telling. And without really, it's very much sort of a Dark Knight Rises type of deal, a Rocky 3 type of deal, without going any further into it than that. But yeah, so you have that. The story is great. It feels like Armageddon. That's really the best way I can describe it. And it's just a well told story. It's I'm really trying to be vague here, but what I can say, I've said all those things. I've spoken about the effects. The score by Michael Giacchino in this film is utilized so well. It evolves from his work on Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and I would say it's even more atmospheric in a war. And it's very more. It's just his score. I don't really know how to describe it. It's just kind of ferocious. You have to see the film to know what I mean. It really encompasses the movie. It hits all the right emotional beats, and it's just a fantastic score, to say the least. This movie never lets up. It's intense and it grips you and grabs you, kind of puts you in a chokehold, really, which I know makes it sound like it's not a pleasant experience to watch this film. It absolutely is, but I'm just saying that this is a very dramatically heavy film, easily the most dramatically heavy of all the Apes films, and you just there's so much about it that I mean, I'm still thinking about it and I still get chills. This is an incredible film. There's maybe one or two little things with, I don't, they'll get into spoilers that I could say, I'm not fond of that. Certain little plot devices, maybe toward the end that, well, no, 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 that's incorrect. There's one plot device toward the end that I thought was a little goofy. Nothing too serious. It made sense that that wound up happening in the film. I don't want to give the spoilers. It's just something involving a guard. I'll leave it at that. But all in all, again, I'm trying to be vague with this film, but I raved about the others. War for the Planet of the Apes. It is my favorite of the new trilogy. I think each film in this trilogy got progressively better. It's not much better than the other ones, but it's just slightly better for me. But ultimately, it's like any trilogy. They're each an act of the story. Rise is part one, or act one. Dawn is act two. War is act three. This is Caesar's story. Caesar is a legendary movie character. And he's the most legendary he's ever been, by far, in War for the Planet of the Apes. So honestly, I I give it a 9.9 out of 10. Even though I think I love it more than Dawn. Uh, yeah, I really no. You know what? 10 out of 10. I'm giving this movie a 10 out of 10. I just honestly, I mean, I just think it earns it. I really do. Let me know down in the comments below. What do you guys think of War for the Planet of the Apes? Have you seen it? Thanks as always for watching. Sorry if I seem a little out of sorts. It's very late, but I wanted to get this review out finally. This is Lance from Cinematic Galaxy signing off.